Hey, what's up, guys? Mr. Free Coiner coming back to you again today. Hope you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. So it has been a little while, but I'm back again. And, I've been meaning to make videos, but man, the days for me go by fairly quickly. I got a couple of projects that I'm getting into or doing. And yeah, it just kind of throws me off sometimes. But either way, guys, here I am. A lot has been going on. We've seen a couple really crazy dips here. Bitcoin has retreated since the last time I did a video. It's retreated quite a lot. We are sitting at $109,000 for Bitcoin. XRP has also retreated, although it is up from earlier today. It's at 282. I think earlier it was like 270s, high 270s. So all in all, the market has kind of been taking a hit. Now, what I'm hearing from some of the more experienced traders and analysts, they are saying that we could be dealing with a bear trap right now, right? A lot of people have really have capitulated. It has been pretty scary. I even sold some, nothing significant at all, not any XRP, but I have sold a little bit, just trying to put a little money out. And it's been a bit scary, I'll be honest. It's hard to tell where everything is going. I mean, for these last several months, it seems like at the end of one month, it's always, next month is going to be crazy, and then we get in and just nothing happens. So, it's understandable that at this point people are capitulating. However, we have seen some really decent price action. I don't know, if any of you are invested in BNB, but it did get to a new all-time high. It was over $1,000. Let's see where it says the new all-time highs was $1,079. So that's pretty good. I tell you, at one time I had I can't remember how many. I was buying BNB back in, I don't know, years ago. I think I bought some at like $5. At one time I had over 100. I think it was over 100 BNB, and I sold it, and then it went up, and then I bought some again at $20, and I sold it. And I just going back and forth. So any of you out there, if you had a significant amount of BNB, congratulations. Even now, it's still, it's still it's still nice if you were buying back then. Let's see. Let's go to max. I think if we go back to somewhere in here, I was buying it like somewhere in here. Yeah, it was back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. But it is what it is. We all have our day, right? We're going to have our day, especially those of us who are into XRP. Now, I want to just get into kind of the different articles that I've come across and just talk about a couple things. I am going to talk about Flare, maybe a couple other things, but either way, before I get started, I do want to say I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my thoughts and opinions. Please do not purchase anything based on what I'm saying. Do your own research and take accountability for your own actions. All right, guys, let's take a look here. So first of all, we have several ETFs that are coming up next month. It seems like this may be what what the market has been waiting for, because there's so much good news that's been happening. I mean, it's crazy, but it won't move. XRP will not move. I don't understand why. But then again, we do understand. The market is controlled by those with a lot of money. And, as retail, you might have a couple dollars, but when you're comparing to the billionaires and the multi-millionaires out there who are, able to move the market so much that they have to buy, behind the scenes, we're really nothing. As a group, retail, we're still waiting for them. I'm a little concerned about that, but maybe I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, here's some of the bigger ETFs that we're waiting for: Grayscale, 21 Shares, Bitwise, Canary Capital, Wisdom Tree, and Franklin Templeton. So hopefully we see this come about soon. So let's get into the article. XRP ETF approval odds surge to 99%, but expert says ETFs will be irrelevant in 5 years. Now, actually, this person makes a good point, because when you look at it, the people who are more interested in ETFs are essentially, it's my age group. You know, what is that? The Generation X or Gen X, because we kind of came up in the old style of things. Really the only way to really invest was, in any markets, was getting into the stock market for the most part, right? So we're used to the 401ks, the IRAs, the CDs, all that stuff. So having us being into that mentality when it comes to investing, it's the majority of my age group, my generation. We're not really into the holding things on exchange, as far as exchanges rather, as far as crypto goes, right? But pretty soon, even the stocks will be digitized or tokenized, right? So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like I said, he's thinking that in the next 5 years, because of my generation really kind of aging out. Most of us are in our 50s. They're late 40s and throughout the 50s. We're in the next 5 years. A lot of us are going to start retiring, right? So that's going to really kind of push things down to the millennials and the Gen Z, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's Gen Z. But either way, that's what he's saying, that it's not going to matter in the next 5 years. I'm not going to say 5 years. It may be a little bit longer than that. The reason being is that I think people are just going to have to work longer or invest longer to be able to really retire comfortably, because things suck. As we all are reminded, I'm sure weekly or if not daily, every time you go to the store, what do you see? Inflation. We see things, pretty much off the charts, right? So yeah. But like I said, he makes a good point. But I'd say even up to 10 years, we'll be looking at this really not mattering, because people still work. There's still going to be 401ks. Most people are not going to, even the younger generation, a lot of them are not into crypto, and that really is a bit puzzling to me. But a lot of younger people don't even know much about crypto, and I say that because some guys that I worked with who are in their 20s, when I started talking about crypto, they were like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "Do you have a Coinbase account, or you got a, this or that?" They're like, "Well, what's that?" And I'm like, "What the hell, dude? You're 25 years old. What are you talking about? I'm in my 50s." So yeah, I think it'll be longer than 5 years. But like I said, it's a good point that he's making. I think at some point it will be irrelevant. But it's not going to be irrelevant in 5 years. I think it's going to be a much longer delta than that. All right. So getting back, let's go here real quick. I do want to, and this is all pretty much ETF stuff, but I want you guys to hear this real quick. This is Paul Barron. Excellent. He has an excellent channel. I like his. He always comes out with some good information. Great people that he interviews. But check this out.
Into this, the Ripple ETF or XRP ETF approval odds right now on Polymarket hovering at around 86%. So one of its highest points, but it looks like this is going to happen. What is the likelihood of the timing for this right now?
I would guess that XRP would probably be this year. Either Eric or James from Bloomberg simply said, well, if there's futures at Coinbase, then you probably get an ETF in 2025.
Your statement at that time was $5 billion in the first month. Are you still holding to that? Do you think that's a possibility?
I really am. I would say after Bitcoin, XRP is probably the most well-known on Wall Street and on finance circles. And then ETH is actually probably number three. So if you think about it that way, I do believe that XRP could potentially outperform ETH just from pure financial services standpoint.
Into this.
Okay, so there you go. Looks like, a lot of people are pretty much betting on the fact that we could get a lot of ETFs, getting approved this year. So far, and this is, I was looking for the ETFs that have already been approved. This is what I came up with, which is Teucrium, volatility shares, XRPI, XRPT, UXRP Pro Shares, XRPR, Rex Osprey, XRPP, U Purpose Investment. So I'm not quite sure. This just came up. I'm not quite sure if these are. It looks like these are ETFs that have already been approved. I know that some have been, and there have been some things, some ETFs that actually were approved, and I can't remember which one it was that has done really well so far, like better than most, if not all, ETFs that have been approved previously. But either way, we do have a lot coming up. Here you can see the ones that are still pending, which is Total Capital, of course, Grayscale, probably the most anticipated, Pro Shares, Wisdom Tree, and different versions of Pro Shares, Coin Shares, 21 Shares, Canary, and then Bitwise. So it looks like we have some very good odds, when it comes to getting these approved. And I really, really hope this happens next. And this is next month. Back in June, when people were saying, "Oh, it's going to be," we may not see anything till October. A few people were saying that, and I was thinking, man, we got to wait all the way till October. But here we are. It's the 27th. We have 3 days left in this month, and we could very well start to see an upside. And speaking of that, a lot of people, again, speaking about the capitulation and people getting scared, because it's been pretty scary out there. This market has just wrong-footed a lot of people, and it's hard to say where it's going to go. But personally, I think, and let's just go back to Bitcoin, because honestly, we can always look at Bitcoin to see how the market is actually acting, right? The actual reality of the whole market. When we're looking at the whole market, Bitcoin can be kind of the the one to really consider. But all in all, a lot of folks are saying that we're in a bear trap, and it's very well could be. I've seen some charts showing that that's where we are right now. If we look here, this is back in 2021 in January, and I remember this. You know what? Let's go. Let's kind of scroll, bring it down a little bit. Oh, that goes back. Is that 2021? All right. Yeah. So if we go here, this was in January of 2021, and I remember this pretty clearly. I remember we kind of went up, and then it started dropping in, and it dropped down quite a bit. The market just died right before it rocketed. And this was before we had all of the institutional interest, obviously. This is back in 2021. However, retail was really, really big in this. Retail was very important here. But why? Because this is when people were getting all that stimulus money. There was a lot of liquidity being pumped into the market because people had all that extra money. It is different today. Why? Because we had the tariffs, we got inflation going crazy. I mean, it's a lot more difficult today. Let's do actually let's go back to 2017. So yeah, it's a little bit more tough these days. But again, here, look at this. Back in 2017, November of 2017, we did have a pretty significant drop, and it was a bear trap. Did I say bull trap earlier? I hope I didn't. But either way, this was a bear trap, right? And I can see what these guys are talking about. But yeah, this is, I mean, if you think here, it went from 7,400 down to $5,000. That's, it dropped like, what, man, that's like 40%, 30%, something like that. Yeah, that's a significant amount. And then it shot up. It went absolutely nuts. Just from November, by the end of November, it had gone up quite significantly. By November 30th, it was $10,000. It went from 5,000. It basically did a 2x within that month, right? So, and of course, reaching $19,000 by the middle of December. So, yeah, I think that could be what we're looking at. Let's go to 2021. Is this 2021? Yeah. Yeah, again, if we look at January 2021, same thing. We shot up. We were already at 40, or Bitcoin was at $40,000, and then it came all the way back down to 30. Right? It lost. What is that? 20%. Yeah, it lost 20% within a few days, right? And then it just started going crazy again. My whole point is this is no time to get cold feet. Let's just stay resolute. The market is, I mean, we knew what we were getting. Well, I won't say that. We know what we're into by now. It's been a long time. Most of us who are holding XRP, those OGs, we've been holding since 2017, 2018. I mean, myself, 2018. So it's it is what it is. We've been waiting a long time. This is not the time to get cold feet. I know Blockchain Backer did say that he was going to sell a third of his portfolio. Hey, and I understand if you have a lot of XRP, right? And in his case, a third of his portfolio, because you got to remember, this is his income. He's got a family to take care of. I mean, you can't begrudge anyone for wanting to secure some funds, but I personally think things are going to turn around. I think it has to be, at this point, it has to be extremely scary, simply because a lot of people, they want a lot of people to get shaken out. Those with the cash, they want most of us out. I find it really kind of funny because we're in probably some of the toughest times we've seen in the last 10 or 15 years, right? This is like the highest inflation we've seen, um, job loss, all of that stuff. It's been really, really tough. So a lot of folks are selling just to make ends meet, or trying to make sure that they don't lose any more. But guys, I mean, you got to think about it. If we go ahead and go back here, where are we going to go, right? Where is it? Is it going to drop any more than this? Is it going to go back? Are we going to go back down here from here? Yeah, at some point, maybe so, right? We may get down to 78,000. I doubt if it'll go that low. Or I'm just speaking about Bitcoin, but it may drop back down. The market may drop back to, as far as if we're looking at Bitcoin, maybe in the 80,000s. But that's not going to happen right now. We're looking at a more, I don't know if it's going to be a blow off top, but we're going to go, I believe, much higher, because just think about the institutions that are coming in. Maybe we're not going to reach the levels that we will get to later on, but I think we go much higher than we are right now. There's just too much happening. There's too much money that's about to drop in here. We got, let's see, I don't know if can't remember if he was talking about it here, but guys, that the 401k money, all of these funds that are tied with that are tied with the stock market, this portions of this money is coming into the market. It's about to make it into the market. Okay. This is going to be big. This is going to be a big finish to this run. It has to be, because you can't have all of this activity, all of these whales and companies buying crypto hand over fist and nothing happen. Yes, the retail market, most people are in dire straits. I'll say a lot of people, but everyone can find a little extra money to try to, make something happen. And that's what you got to, it's a gamble. Even people who do gamble for a living, I guess you could say, who like to take those chances, they find some way to get money. If they see an opportunity to multiply what they have, they're going to put their money into it. And it's sad that a lot of folks are going to buy the top, but it is what it is. Hopefully what we're going into is a better economic time frame over the next few years. Who knows? But all in all, I mean, my main point is, guys, this is no time to give up. Just don't give up. I was actually, one last thing, just to kind of drive the point home. I saw a clip just earlier today, and it was the end of the movie The Mist. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you have seen that, but at the very end, the group of people that end up in this vehicle, that they have, I think it's like 3 people or 4 people, right? It's the guy, the main character, his son, this other this lady, and then a guy and another woman, like in the back seat. Okay, so he had a gun. He only had 4 bullets, so he was going to ease their suffering, because they thought the world was, it was pretty much over, right? They're seeing all of these giant creatures everywhere, and they're just like, there's no people, like it's all over. All the things that they saw, they were stuck in a grocery store. All of those people died. Like, it made sense that they would think, okay, let's just off everyone so you don't have to be tortured by getting killed by one of these creatures or getting eaten. And the guy really, kind of sacrificed himself because there was no bullet for him. All right, so after he did, the clip comes in where it's after the fact. He's outside. He gets out. He hears all this noise coming from the back, behind the vehicle. He thinks it's all over. But what is it? It's actually the army. And there are people being, taken by trucks, right? From the area that they had just left to. And really kind of the moral of the story, him seeing the tanks and they're burning all of these creatures and whatnot, like they've gotten the upper hand. The moral is don't give up. You never know. You never know the the beauty of what comes next. Even if it seems like there's no hope, it seems like there's nowhere to go from here, you can't give up. And I can tell you, I am a living witness to this. Okay? I'm a living witness. I've had times where things just seemed like it was over for me. Like there was nowhere for me to go. There was like everything was done. I was finished. But at that very time is the test of your strength. That is when you have to stand your ground and believe that things are going to get better. And I can tell you, pretty much 100% of the time, right? That lowest point is where you bounce off of. That's where you catapult from and everything that next day. If you just get through those last few hours, that last day, even that last week, something great is coming for you. Never give up. There's no point in giving up. You got to fight till the end. So I hope that is, that's helpful to somebody out there. We're all human. And like I said, I get it, guys. I get it. But don't give up. Life is beautiful. And, you have to believe in yourself and believe that things are going to get better. Pray. God got you. I can tell you if you're doing right, he's got you. So anyway, guys, with that being said, make sure that if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, and also hit that post notification button so you know when I've posted again. Until next time, this has been Mr. Free Coiner. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.